Sup, Nerdmigos, I'm the Jive talking nerd, John Norgrove. We've got Wife here, and we are here for a Star Trek Thursday on a Friday. Don't worry about it. So, we are in Season 4 of Star Trek Voyager, and we're doing episodes 11 through 15 this week. So let's just get right into it. If you're new here, don't forget to like this video, comment below, share, subscribe, ring the bell, and listen to our podcast, the Horn and Cauldron podcast, and check us out on Patreon if you want to support more creative ventures like this.
Yep.
Oh, no, it decided to try to start playing for a second there. It's fine. Dude, Netflix is so judgy about just
almost
using that
time.
information. Okay, so, episode 11, Concerning Flight. So this is basically like Janeway's hanging out with Da Vinci in the holodeck while some aliens that have magical transporter technology that pierces through their shields steals a bunch of shit, including the main computer core, which, like, damn. That's fine. Voyager should have a backup if I remember the like layout correctly. But either way, they end up like doing some stuff and limping the ship to the alien planet and then going on some hijinks to try to heist it back. But come to find out, because the hologram was running at the same time as the holo emitter was stolen, Da Vinci was given the holo emitter and then thinks that he came to the New World America. And he did not. Nope, he's on an alien planet in the Delta Quadrant still. But we get a bunch of Janeway Da Vinci, and Da Vinci's played by John Rhys-Davies.
Yes. Who
is just the best. So this is like the best episode. I love this.
This was definitely
episode.
the best of these. Were all good episodes.
Such a good episode.
This was the most entertaining of the 5 that we watched.
Such a good episode. Okay, so after that is episode 12, Mortal Coil. So basically, they find a nebula that has proto-matter in it. It's such a great source of energy or some bullshit. And some techno bullshit like that. And because Neelix has dealt with it before, who is it? It's Chipotle and Tom?
Yeah.
I think are in the shuttle with Neelix, and they go to harness some proto-matter or whatever, and a bolt of lightning shoots through the ship, through the windshield, and hits Neelix in the chest, effectively killing him. They get him back to the ship, but he's already dead. But 7 of 9 is just like, you guys fucking suck. I got Borg stuff, don't worry about it. So she does some Borg stuff to him and brings him back. Neelix did not go to his foreseen afterlife, or at least doesn't remember it now that he's awake. And so he has like a little existential crisis that results in him trying to commit, return to death, and that they stop that shit real quick. But like he has some It's funny because like at first he's like, oh, I'm full of Borg nanobots, and they're like, don't worry about it. And then like the next time he starts freaking out, 7 is like, the nanobots can't get you, and he's like, I'm not even afraid of that. Where is my sister? Where's the life tree? What's going on? And then we get the best ending of all time. Neelix is basically like secreted away to site transport to transport himself back into the nebula, and like Chipotle goes to the transporter room and is like, don't do it, Neelix. Everybody loves you. You're the best. Like seriously, don't do this, man. We need you here. And Ensign Wildman,
who's the one that had the baby?
Who's the one who had the baby? Who like Neelix is like the godfather for? Like walks in. She walks in and she's like, "Hey Neelix, I had to ask the computer where you were. Like you weren't in the mess hall. I don't know what's going on. But like my kid thought she saw another monster in the replicator. Can you help her? What's going on here, guys? What is this?"
And Neelix is just like,
I got his hand on the button to transport himself into bloody space, and like Chipotle's like trying to stop him with words, and she's like, "Did I interrupt something important?" And Neelix like looks at Chipotle, and then is just like, "No, let me go see what can go." And then like that just gets resolved because Neelix realizes that he has to stay alive at a minimum to check the replicator for monsters.
For a tiny, sweet
So this was a great like Neelix episode. It really showed like his acting chops and his character chops, and it really shows how much he grew.
It's very philosophical and existential.
It's heavy.
And yeah, this is a very heavy episode, but this is the first episode in like a while that mentions Kes.
Yeah.
Literally
he has
at all.
one item that's like a remembrance token of Kes. And that's the only time they mention her, and then that gets just rubbed. So episode 13 is Waking Moments, where the crew starts falling asleep and having nightmares of the same alien, and then Chipotle, because he has dream magic, is able to enter and exit the dreams by looking at a moon and tapping the back of his hand 3 times. A tradition that I do every time I see a moon during the daytime. I have no clue why. It's just fun. so why not? Because I'm a huge Voyager fan and I'm a weird nerd. Don't worry about it. But, so basically what Chipotle does is he finds where these aliens are, because it's just Chipotle and the Doctor, because the Doctor doesn't sleep. And so they find where the aliens are, and then he beams down to the aliens, and he can't turn off their machine, and so he wakes an alien up whilst commanding the Doctor to blow up the alien rock or whatever it's on.
Which would also blow up.
Which would blow up him, and he falls back asleep because he used his last a bit of inoculation, awakeness inoculation on the alien to wake it up, and he when he falls back asleep, the head alien's haha, you're back asleep, we got you, bitch. And Chipotle's yeah, in about 2 minutes the Doctor on our ship is gonna blow up your fucking rock, and he's you're on it also, and Chipotle's
I don't care.
honey, we know.
Yeah, Chipotle
There's a nice little stare off, and this alien's just fuck you then. And then everything gets wrapped up. The ending is so wrapped up.
And then it cuts to ship log. Chipotle basically goes back in and is checkmate.
Yeah. Chipotle just kind of and then end of episode.
Yeah.
So that's episode 13.
Dream aliens.
Episode 14 is Message in a Bottle, where Voyager discovers an alien communication net where they can communicate with the Alpha Quadrant, and there's a ship there, but they can't the signals degrade too much, and hologram signals degrade less or something. So they send the whole ass Doctor to a ship where he meets Andy Dick, the Mark II of the emergency Doctor. Let's all thank the gods that we're using the Mark I on Voyager, shall we? I have no problem with Andy Dick. It's literally just that character in this show is incredibly fucking annoying. But so Andy Dick and the Doctor have to fight off Romulans, take control of the ship, and then the Doctor ends up they end up saving the day, and he ends up they just sort of vaguely wave hand over him communicating with Starfleet and delivering messages and getting new orders and letting Starfleet know that everything's fine and whatever, and then he comes back to the shuttle bay, and Janeway's did you complete the mission? And he's I did, but I had to take care of some Romulans first. And she's what? And then end of episode.
Yeah.
It's a double take, spit take in. This is a really good episode. This is this really shows how good Robert Picardo is as an actor. Julie and I were talking about this. The best scene in this episode is Tom Paris wants to be a pilot and not a doctor, but he's the most doctorly of all the doctors on the ship. So he's the one that has to become. Yeah, seriously, it's just to make him annoyed, honestly. But so he's interim doctor while the Doctor's away, and so he tries to convince Harry Kim to create a new Doctor. In the process of doing so, they create the hologram of the Doctor, and Harry Kim dumps all of every text related to medicine ever into it, and it just starts reciting it. So Robert Picardo is standing in the room reciting the first several paragraphs of
Grey's Anatomy.
Of Grey's Anatomy, whilst
the actual book, not the show.
The actual book. Whilst Harry Kim and Tom Paris are yelling at the Doctor to shut up, and in his face, and tapping on his little head, and yelling at each other. And you're listen, this was either done in 2 separate plates, or Robert Picardo is the greatest actor of all time. to just recite with perfect memory that thing whilst being deeply yelled at, but also because he had no speech recognition, nor did he have any recognition algorithms, he had to stand perfectly still and recite it eyes dead forward, body unmoving,
no
emotions, just reciting word for word everything that's happening whilst these guys are running around.
Yeah,
it's so good. Just watching that scene, you're wow. It was amazing. So whatever, they save the day. They get messages back to the Federation that the Federation, because they had given up a little bit ago, and assumed the ship was lost, but now they're not, so they're gonna keep working on it again. And then episode 15, last but not least, we're running through these a little quick, is Hunters, where the Federation figures out a way to transmit a compiled data signal with a bunch of letters from the Alpha Quadrant to Voyager using this alien network. Well, come to find out, this alien network is claimed by the Herosians, since I'm pretty certain there's a throwaway line where it said that the fucking radio decay on the stations meant that they were 100,000 years old, or some just absurd thing like that. But so the Herosians are that's our shit, don't use it. So 7 of 9 just electrocutes one of them via the signal, because whatever, radios can do that, I guess. And so 7 and Tuvok take a shuttle to the station to try to unlodge the data file or something. But in the process of doing so, they kind of like get kidnapped by the Herodians. Also, these space stations are powered by quantum singularities. What's up? What is that? That's Stargate Galaxy? What is that one called? Stargate Universe. Stargate Universe, they use ZP and 0-point modules for power, which are like quantum singularities held inside of a, like, vacuum energy. Sci-fi! But, so the Herodians try to steal their spines and such, because, you know, that's what the Herodians do. They're like hunting people. They're like Delta Quadrant Klingons, but way more stabby. Less honor, more like, what if your insides were on the outside? For trophies. And, so Janeway basically goes like mad crazy on him again, and it's just like, collapse the quantum singularity in the thing. We'll make it out. And they're like, but Tom Paris is a giant eagle of a pilot and can literally fly anything, anywhere. So he's able to pilot the ship away from a quantum singularity, but the Herodian ships get collapsed into it. But the process of doing so destroyed the entire network, so now the whole network's offline, so they can't communicate with the Alpha Quadrant no more, and definitely the Herodians know that you're there, because you just killed like 4 of their ships. But everybody's fine, but now the Herodians are our new enemies, so that's what we have to deal with.
That's right.
Yeah, those are episodes 11 through 15, quick as I can talk about them. What's your favorite part of these episodes?
It's definitely all the scenes with John Rhys-Davies.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. Any scene with John
Rhys-Davies, second best scene, the Doctor reciting Grey's Anatomy, word perfect.
Third best scene, the Doctor telling Andy Dick that he made some anatomical adjustments.
Yeah, Andy Dick's like, maybe you hook me up with some of those subroutines. What's up?
Yeah.
So yeah, that was fantastic. The Doctor, really, I feel like John Rhys-Davies and Robert Picardo, and honestly Ethan, I don't remember Neelix's last name, the actor.
Oh, I have no idea.
But and Neelix as well. All 3 of them really like dominated this run of episodes. But what was your favorite part?
Yep.
What did you think of these episodes? And do you tap the back of your hand when you see a full moon in the daytime like a crazy person? Because I do that. Just in case. This is all an elaborate dream. Just in case.
Just in case.
Space dream magic, that's what I'm talking about. Either way, I have been John Norgrove, this has been Wife, this has been Star Trek Thursday on a Friday, and don't forget to like this video, comment below, share, subscribe.
Ring the bell.
Ring the bell. If you would like more fun content like this, and all the other content that we do, please hit us up on Patreon. There's extra stuff there. You will like it, trust me.
That's right.
And don't forget to check out our podcast, Horn and Cauldron Podcast. It's a witchy podcast. So we will catch you guys on the flip side. Stay dreamy. Stay dreamy.